Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into quite an enduring enigma, the story of Christopher McCandless. You might know him better as Alexander Supertramp.
Right, a really compelling figure.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine this. You graduate college, top grades, everything ahead of you, and you just consciously walk away from everything society says you should want.
Yeah, the degree, family connections, even a pretty substantial college fund, what was it, $24,000?
Exactly. Which he just quietly donated to charity. Oxfam, I think.
Uh-huh. Then abandons his car, literally burns his remaining cash.
And just vanishes, heads out into the American West.
Only to end up, well, tragically alone in the Alaskan wilderness.
It's a story Jon Krakauer captured so hauntingly Into the Wild.
Such a powerful book.
So our mission today really is to unpack the layers. What makes someone do that? Defy the modern world so completely for something, well, something raw, untamed.
And mystery is definitely the right word. Because, as Krakauer really digs into, these weren't just, impulsive acts. They came from this profound idealism, a really deep-seated belief in self-reliance.
And a search for meaning, right?
Exactly. A desperate search, almost. It still resonates, but boy, does it divide people.
Oh, for sure. Even back then, the reactions were so stark. Was he reckless? Was he some kind of romantic hero?
Polar opposites.
So we're going to get into all of that. We'll start with Chris's background, which might surprise some people, and look at his influences: Thoreau, Tolstoy, Jack London.
Yeah, how those writers didn't just inspire him, but maybe kind of reinforce this very singular path.
A path that led him to reject materialism, conformity, what he saw as hypocrisy, especially maybe in his own family life.
And then we'll trace that journey, his odyssey across the West.
Right, like his time working with Wayne Westerberg, the grain farmer in South Dakota. They formed a real bond, didn't they?
They really did. Then there's, losing his car in that flash flood in Arizona.
But he just kept going.
Kept going. Kayak it down the Colorado River, apparently into Mexico for a bit.
Incredible, surviving the Nevada desert.
And finding those connections in unexpected places, like Slab City. Those drifters, they became like a temporary family.
It shows a different side to him, beyond the isolationist image.
Definitely. Which then brings us, of course, to the final chapter, Alaska. We'll follow him there, arriving in April 1992. And it's crucial, I think, to really picture what he took with him.
So little.
Incredibly little. A small caliber rifle, a .22, a bag of rice, some books, and his journal.
That says a lot about his mindset. Fiercely independent, but maybe.
Maybe tragically unprepared. He found that abandoned bus, didn't he? The magic bus.
Yeah, near Denali. Became his base camp, his shelter.
And this part of the deep dive, well, it gets pretty grim. The reality of the Alaskan wilderness.
The food scarcity, the sheer isolation.
And that river, the Teklanika. How it became impassable later when he might have tried to leave. It trapped him.
And we have to confront those final days, his journal entries. They become quite poignant.
Leading to that last really chilling note he left.
Happiness only real when shared. Just wow.
It hits hard.
We should also talk about Krakauer's perspective. His own connection to the story.
Right. His own youthful adventure climbing the devil's thumb. He weaves that in.
It gives him a unique lens, doesn't it? Trying to understand Chris.
It does. And his interviews with people who knew Chris, they paint such a human picture, not just a symbol.
So ultimately, this whole story pushes us towards these timeless questions. What does it really mean to live? What's the line between adventure and recklessness?
Where is that line? It's a question that hangs over the whole narrative. And Chris's story, well, it absolutely continues to divide people. Hero to some, fool to others. But Krakauer's book, it doesn't really push you to judge. It asks you to listen, to wonder, to try and understand the complexities.
So as we get into this, maybe a question for you listening is, what compass would you follow? What would you risk to feel truly alive? Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, we've really walked through this profound, often heartbreaking story of Christopher McCandless, all through the lens of Jon Krakauer's Into the Wild.
It's quite a journey to revisit.
It is. We've looked at this young guy driven by this powerful idealism, this, yearning for absolute freedom.
Yeah, consciously turning his back on societal norms.
And we talked about those influences, Thoreau, Tolstoy, London, how they shaped his thinking about simplicity, solitude.
But what really stands out, I think, is that it wasn't just about escape. It was also this complex, almost paradoxical quest for connection.
Right. Those moments with people like Wayne Westerberg.
Or the community down in Slab City.
Yeah, those brief connections, they show this really human, relatable side. It's not just the mythologized hermit, is it?
Not at all. There was a warmth there. People really responded to him. And then bringing it to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
His death in that bus, August 92. He was only 24.
So young.
And that final note, happiness only real when shared. It just provides such a powerful focus point that forces us to look at these really universal questions. You know, the complexities of what we desire, that pull of the wild.
And that razor's edge between adventure and, well, fatal recklessness.
Exactly. And Krakauer's approach is key here. He weaves in his own story, his own efforts to understand Chris.
That parallel journey.
Yeah. He didn't just see Chris as a subject. He saw him almost as a mirror, didn't he? Reflecting his own youthful urges, that search for meaning we all kind of grapple with.
It's clear his legacy is still debated, strongly debated, hero or fool.
The debate continues.
But Into the Wild, the book itself, it doesn't really force an answer. It invites you, the reader, the listener, to engage, to feel it, wonder about it. And Chris has become this symbol, hasn't he, for dreamers, wanderers, rebels, people looking for something more, even with the tragic end.
He definitely represents something powerful to a lot of people. It makes you pause, though. You know, if Chris heard that call of the wild and just went for it, maybe the question isn't just why he went.
Okay.
Maybe it's also about why we sometimes stay put, why we build these cages of routine, possessions, fear. When there's this whole world calling.
That's a challenging thought.
What stands out most to you, Yuzmoe, listening now from his path? What part resonates or disturbs you the most?
And I guess that leaves us with the core question, maybe the one Chris himself was wrestling with right up to the end. What would you risk? Truly risk, to feel completely alive?